Hi everyone, this is Casper the Boy Diviner, and I'm here today to share with you a deck that I've been waiting for quite a while. So, Stasia Burrington, the maker of the Sasarai Beetle Tarot and also the Magic Nico deck, came up with this new oracle deck called the Empty Cup Oracle. Alright, so I think she opened pre-orders in January and I've been waiting for this until now. Plus, I live in Singapore, so it took quite a while for the delivery, shipping, everything to happen. And when I received it yesterday, I was so happy. I ripped it open, I used it once or twice, and I found it pretty, well, it came at the right time for me because right now I'm taking sort of a small break from tarot, from any kind of spirituality. I haven't meditated for like more than a month, which is terrible, but I feel like the mounting pressures that I place on myself has sort of incapacitated me. Like, anyway, I did a quick reading with this deck, and it did tell me to have the courage to let these things go and to accept my own flaws and let myself really be who I am. One of the things that caught my eye, okay, so firstly, I'm a big fan of Stasia Burrington. As an Asian American there, I feel like I do want to support her. Like how I know I'm a bit biased, but my favorite people in this sphere are like people like Bennabelle Wen and also Susan T. Chang or T. Susan Chang. I'm not sure which she prefers, I can't remember. So these are the people I support, and Stasia Burrington is one of the people that I have all her decks. I have all three. And today I wanted to show you the Empty Cup Oracle. But first, maybe I can read to you what she wrote about this deck that made me want to buy it so badly. This deck is a practical survival toolkit to strengthen intuition and find guidance when things feel hard or murky, or when you just need a kick in the ass. So these cards function as a sort of compass to help you listen to yourself and what you really need in the moment. And I love that. Firstly, I love that message on how it's about you know, when you're feeling lost, this is basically an oracle for self-care and for self-discovery. And I'm not really a big oracle card person. I rarely use oracles. I like the system of the tarot. I like that I learned something once and I get it. For oracle cards, I feel like every new deck I have to kind of relearn and need to go through the guidebook and things like that. So one of the oracle decks that I truly love is the Animal Spirit Oracle, and by Kim Kranz. Sorry, some coffee. But her correspondences with the animals are so right and so on point. My own biases of the animal always comes in. So without the guidebook, I feel like it's very hard to read. And the example is like the peacock in the Animal Spirit Tarot. I think it's about, you know, confidence or something about inner beauty, whereas when I see a peacock I think of confidence and maybe a bit too cocky and arrogant, which is not the case at all. So firstly, okay, back to the topic. The Empty Cup Oracle comes in this sturdy 2-piece box. I love the box. I love the foil, similar to the Sasarai Beetle, I guess, but the feel of the box is very matte. I'm not sure if you can hear that for ASMR. Yeah, it's very matte. The box is a tight fit, but easy enough to open, and they have these carded holes, which are great. Okay, the inside of the box is a pale blue, and the Oracle guidebook also fits in really nicely. I love the guidebook and how it looks, you know, that yellow. I mean, as a person who works in a bit of writing, I would reformat a bit of the guidebook, just a little bit, because some of the formatting choices are a bit strange. Like you suddenly have one line here, which can make sense if it's consistent throughout. You see, like this is consistent, but then the others, you know, they have that one line right below, but the messages are there. Some of it, I think this deck is very easy to just read based on your own intuition. Like some of the cards do have like dual meanings. Maybe we can go into that as we go along. Okay, so I already used the deck. This won't be in alphabetical order like the book or how it comes in, so I'll just show you one by one. Firstly, maybe before we go deep into the images one by one, can you see this is a matte gold gilding? A matte gold gilding. The cardstock is beautiful. It's very matte. I love matte cardstock, and it comes pretty thick. So it's not like the Sasrai beetle, which is very very thin. This one is thick. So with matte cardstock, I think sometimes it's a bit hard to shuffle. Like the cards tend to stick a little, but I think with more use, it'll be easier and easier. All right. So maybe we can go into the deck for in depth. Okay. Firstly, the moth. Simple, elegant. The moth, I think it's like your shadow self, like things you want to confront. Mushrooms. Similar to the death card in tarot, but focusing more about what can grow out of death, or what can grow out of the ugly things, or things that don't seem to be needed. Needle and thread. I think this is about like the kintsugi thought in Japan, where you can fix something and it can get even better after you fix it. Blindfold. So this blindfold is not like when someone is kidnapped and you blindfold them. This blindfold is more like a sleeping mask, and I think that comes from the thought where you do need your time to rest. Sometimes you need to blindfold yourself. You need to focus on what's important and not necessarily look at everything around. Ancestors. Love this. Think about what has come before you. Think about mayflies. Living in the moment. Life is short. Rope. Utility. Tying a safety net for yourself, making sure you are safe. Book. Secrets. Learning more, exploring something outside of your life, your usual life. Room. Cleansing, physical cleansing of your space, which I'm terrible at. I tried cleaning some of my crystals today, but cutting board. So when I do my videos, sometimes I try to speak a bit more American for people. I don't usually speak like this, and American R tends to come in a lot because in my culture we don't really use that R as much. So I focus a lot on it, and sometimes it comes in when there's assonance, like cutting board, cutting board. Yeah. Okay. So the cutting board, I think the guidebook says something that didn't even occur to me when I saw this. It's like about health, about what you're putting in your body, like what you're cooking and what you're eating. I also, from what I saw, and when I saw this, I thought about like cutting things into smaller chunks so you can focus on them. And there's a similar one, the hatchet. All right, hatchet is a physical activity, as she mentioned in the guidebook. I thought hatchet means cutting things off that you don't need. So I think some of these cards, they do feel a little similar. Sorry to digress again. Just want to show you what the other one was. So when I saw hatchet, I thought cutting things majorly that you don't need, but then there's pruning shears as well, and I think this is more in line to that, like cutting away, trimming away things that you don't need in your life and focusing on what matters. Sorry for that unglamorous movement. Forget me not. Nostalgia. Concentric circles. I love this. When I saw this, I was like, what does it mean? I think it represents the rings of a tree. It's like how you mark your height as you grow taller. So it's about recognizing the growth you have come so far. Blanket. Fuge. Courage. The heart. Crater. So crater is like I think she mentioned, it's like the scars that along the way you have and that you learn how to appreciate. Maybe. Don't take anything I say for stock. Buy the deck, read the guidebook, it's great. Telephone. And I love this old school, like we're using like a toy, this kind of toys. Communication. Telescope. Seeing things from a big picture perspective. Whistle. Learning how to ask for help. The empty cup. This is akin to the Fool of tarot, like pure emptiness when there's nothing. I think there's also a little story that reminds me of the empty cup, where a Zen master pours out the empty teacup. You know, if you have so much in your cup, you can't take on anything new. And this is what it's trying to tell you, to empty yourself, to learn how to accept whatever you need without preconceived notions, which is difficult because we have confirmation bias. Okay, diving helmet. Okay, so there's one small thing about the deck. Like, I'm not sure how much is the shading. I mean, some of it is shading, and then some there's some marking sometimes near the words. I'm not sure if like it's some ink that ran and made it a bit murky, but it is what it is. It's a lovely cardstock still, very matte. Diving helmet, which reminds me of another one. Let me see if I can find it. Spacesuit. So both are like armors, and both are like about exploration. So I think I do need to work with this deck a bit more to find out these different nuances. Part of my Oracle learning journey, I might want to write in my blog about how I'm planning to separate all these into different groups and trying to find out the nuances between them and or the similarities. Flying fish, going out of your comfort zone. Pinky Promise. This is a very nostalgic deck. So like as a kid, what promises have you made to yourself, to people? What are the promises that you should break? What are the promises that people forced on you? Net. Finding a tool, finding something that can help you catch what you want. Stinging nettle. Experiences that hurt, but are you going to make it medicine, or are you going to learn how to avoid it in the future? Not. This can completely be positive or negative. If you want to tie yourself to something, do you want to cut it off? You know, I think, you know, if you take out this card and the next one is pruning shears, you might want to think about cutting things away. Snake. So there are a lot of connotations for snake, and I can't really remember what the guidebook talked about. I would say, because I come from a Chinese metaphysics background, snake is usually like a fiery creature. Smart. Microscope, the opposite of telescope, going into the details. See, I had, because they're a bit matte, so sometimes they kind of like are hard to separate. Nest, like your home, focusing on where you live. Space, making space is also about exploration. So I guess if space and spacesuit comes up together, you know. Shooting star, wishes that you made. Slingshot, weaponry, but I think this is also about focus, about that tension before it releases, from what I remember. Lungs. So I love that little, sometimes there are little like quirky details, like the drawing of the heart is courage, and then this is lungs. And the guidebook talks about breathing. So instead of saying, you know, breathe or calm or relax or whatever, it literally says lungs, and I love that. Flask, you know, the storage of something, to maybe record something. It's about spirit, also about like alcohol, I guess. Tangle, so different from knot. This is a tangle. Again, see, these are the similar cards and the nuances. The moon. So other related cards are like space and crater. And I guess you can read this like the moon card in tarot. Matchbook. You know, like between the Fool and the Ace of Wands, the potential is there. Are you gonna strike it? Are you not? Is it time to think about that when you're standing over that edge? What you're gonna do? I'm not sure if you can see those little like the ink stuff I was talking about. And then lastly, the map. Maybe you need to chart a map. Maybe you need to think about getting a bigger map, a smaller map. Because the bigger the map, the sort of less useful, the less you can see, right? Okay, I'm gonna just do a quick shuffle. Let's see what comes up, and I'll just maybe talk about it, or maybe even read from the guidebook. Let's see. A message should be good for everyone watching this video. Get this one. The moon. Okay, let's see what the guidebook says. This giant rock in the sky, symbol-bound and heavy, the closest celestial body to the earth, cycle, tides, repetition, rhythm, a balance between change and continuity. Listen to your own cycles, your own ebbs and flows, and don't try to force them into shapes and schedules that are too uncomfortable. You as a human being, existing in this universe, are as natural, valid, and important as the moon. Treat yourself as the rare, precious, beautiful, mysterious, luminous collection of cells, shit, and stardust that you are. I love that. I love that it's telling you to just... So everyone, you are all important, whoever you are, and we all contain shit. Like we have our flaws. Just accept that, and maybe for today, think about letting go. Maybe you don't have to force yourself to do anything. All right, just take it easy, which I am, and that's why I've been taking a big break. Thank you for the message, Empty Cup Oracle. Again, this is the Empty Cup Oracle by Stasia Burrington. I think you can order this from my Etsy. Okay, you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye.